Picture this. You reach into your pocket or your purse, and your stomach just completely drops. Your wallet, gone. And right along with it, your Georgia driver's license. It's a nightmare scenario that literally happens to thousands of drivers every single year. The immediate panic? Totally understandable. But hey, before you start envisioning spending your entire week stuck in some endless line at the DDS, let's just stop right there. Today, we're diving into this explainer to map out exactly how to replace your lost, stolen, or damaged Georgia driver's license completely stress-free. By the time we're done here, you're going to know the exact steps, the costs, and a few hidden rules to get you back on the road safely and, more importantly, legally.
We've got a super clear roadmap for you today. We'll start with why you shouldn't panic, then we'll figure out if you're eligible for the fast track. After that, we'll go over your application options, exactly what documents you need to gather, what it's going to cost, and how long it'll take. Oh, and stick around for some pro tips and final warnings, including what you absolutely must do if you suspect your license was actually stolen, not just misplaced.
So, let's jump right in. First things first, if you're experiencing that awful sinking feeling of a lost wallet right now, just take a deep breath. Seriously.
Here's the thing. Losing your license is an absolute headache, yes, for sure. But the Georgia Department of Driver Services, the DDS, has actually made it surprisingly easy to fix. I know, we usually associate government services with long waits and mountains of complex forms, but Georgia has really modernized the specific process.
Actually, this quote perfectly sums up their new approach. As DDS Commissioner Spencer R. Moore points out, in most cases, you don't even need to leave your couch to solve this. They've built some pretty robust remote options to handle exactly this kind of emergency.
Now, what's really interesting is figuring out if you get to use those remote options. Not everyone can just click a button and get a new license in the mail. We need to determine which set of rules applies to your specific situation.
To qualify for a quit remote replacement, you basically need to meet a few strict criteria. You've got to be a U.S. citizen and a Georgia resident holding a regular, non-commercial license. Your current license also needs to be a real ID, the one with that little gold or black star up in the top right corner. And, naturally, your driving privileges can't be currently suspended, canceled, or revoked. If you hit all those marks, you, my friend, are in the fast lane.
But wait, there is a catch. It's called the 150-day rule. And this dictates whether you pay for a simple $10 duplicate or if you're forced to process a full-blown renewal. Basically, if your lost license doesn't expire for more than 150 days, you just pay a quick $10 replacement fee. Easy. However, if your license was set to expire in less than 150 days anyway, the state says you have to do a full renewal right now, which comes with a totally different fee structure. So definitely keep that 150-day timeline in mind. Okay, so you know you're eligible. Now it's time to look at the paths of least resistance to actually request and receive your new card.
You basically have three main options here in Georgia. First, there's the online web portal. Second, there's their highly recommended mobile app called DDS2Go. Or third, maybe as a backup plan, or if you didn't meet those remote eligibility requirements, you can always make an in-person visit to a customer service center.
Now, if you go with the DDS2Go app, which is super convenient, the steps are incredibly streamlined. But listen up, because there's a huge gotcha here. You literally must already have an existing online account set up on their website with an email and password before you try logging into the app. Once you've got that sorted, you just download the free app, log in, and you can even set up biometric sign-in, like a quick face scan or fingerprint, so you never have to remember that password again. After that, requesting a replacement is just a few taps away. A quick detour here for our professional drivers. It's really important to note that if you hold a commercial driver's license or a CDL, you unfortunately cannot fully replace a lost license online. You do have to apply for your replacement in person at a DDS office. But the good news is the DDS is starting to modernize things for you too. They now allow you to remotely upload some required medical certificates, which might at least save you one extra trip. All right, let's dive into the paperwork puzzle. For those of you who either choose to or are required to visit a center in person, please do not walk out your front door without listening to this part carefully. The state is super strict about this. They categorize your required paperwork into Category A for proving exactly who you are and Category B for proving exactly where you live in Georgia. You cannot mix and match these, and you definitely cannot show up empty-handed. For Category A identity, you just need to bring one document. This could be a valid U.S. passport, an expired Georgia driver's license, or your U.S. birth certificate. But listen closely to this critical detail. Absolutely all of these documents must be originals or certified copies. No photocopies, no faxes. If you walk in there with a photocopy of your birth certificate, they will turn you away on the spot.
Moving on to Category B, residency. For this one, you must provide 2 documents from their approved list. Think along the lines of a W-2 from last year, your current auto insurance card, a utility bill, or maybe a bank statement. The major key here is that the name on these residency documents has to perfectly match the name you want printed on your driver's license.
Okay, moving right along. The big question on everyone's mind, what is this going to cost you, and how long are you going to be waiting by the mailbox for your new ID? Here is the bottom line on the fees. As we touched on earlier, a simple replacement duplicate is just $10. Not bad at all. But remember that 150-day rule? If you fall under that and have to renew, it's going to cost you $27 if you do it online, or $32 if you do it in person. So doing it online actually saves you a quick $5, plus the gas money. If you end up paying in person at a customer service center, just be prepared. You can use cash, and they highly recommend bringing exact change, along with major debit or credit cards, cashier's checks, or money orders. But whatever you do, leave your checkbook at home. Georgia DDS locations will outright reject personal checks, no exceptions. Once everything is submitted, your application is processed, your photo is confirmed, and the fee is paid, you're going to need to exercise just a little bit of patience. Expect to wait anywhere from 30 to 45 days for the permanent, hard copy license to actually show up in your mailbox.
But hey, don't worry about being stranded or unable to drive during that month-long wait. Whether you apply online or in person, they give you an official printed receipt that includes your photograph. You can legally drive using this piece of paper until your shiny new permanent card arrives. Just make absolutely sure you keep it in your car at all times.
All right, we're in the home stretch. Let's look at some common mistakes and actionable pro tips to ensure your application sails through and your identity stays protected. Here is a massive mistake people make. When their license is actually stolen, not just misplaced, they just ask for a standard duplicate. No! If you are a victim of theft, you really need to file a formal police report first. Then, take a copy of that report to the DDS in person. If you do this, they'll issue a brand new, secure license number rather than just reprinting your compromised old one. This step is absolutely vital for protecting your identity from fraud.
So, let's quickly summarize the best practices from today's explainer. First, secure your identity by keeping a close eye on your credit reports and bank statements if your ID was lost or stolen. Second, remember that weird tech quirk. You've got to set up your online web account before you download the DDS2Go app. Third, never walk into a DDS center with uncertified photocopies of your birth certificate or passport. And lastly, if you happen to be doing a renewal and need to update your address, it's free to do, but you have to bring those 2 Category B residency documents to prove your new address.
We'll wrap up this explainer with a quick reminder. Always verify the latest requirements, fees, and processing timelines directly with official state resources or the Georgia DDS website. Government procedures change all the time, so it's always smart to double-check. Getting a new license is really just the first step in recovering a lost wallet. But what about the rest of your digital identity? Think about it. If your physical license falls into the wrong hands, what hidden loopholes could identity thieves exploit next? Leave your thoughts, experiences, or any questions about navigating the DDS in the comments below, and please remember to drive safely out there.